Good stuff. That'll get you going. It gets us going every single week. Hi, everybody. Another week, another Friday, another edition of Growing Bolder Now. I'm Bill Schaefer, and you will be excited to know that we are coming to you live on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook, and not just the Growing Bolder Facebook page, but today we are coming to you also on the Facebook page of WUCF-TV, yes, our presenting TV station. Great people over there. We're very proud to be associated with them, and there's a big reason why that we're going to get into here in a minute. Of course, you already knew that you were watching us on one of those three because, well, I did the math. And if you're a regular viewer of this live stream, welcome back. It's good to see you again. And if you are new, thank you for stopping by. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. I think the Growing Bolder regulars will agree. We do a lot of different things. It is never dull, always uplifting, thought-provoking, and inspirational. So the first question, Growing Bolder, what's Growing Bolder? Well, Growing Bolder is your future. What's it going to be like? I mean, aging is different than it's ever been in any time in human history. What will it be like for you? Will it be a time of decline and disease, or will it be a time of opportunity and adventure? You never really know, but you can greatly increase your chances of living an active and fulfilling life, and that is what Growing Bolder is all about. Growing Bolder is a public television show on public broadcasting stations. It's a radio show and a podcast. It is an amazing magazine, too, that I must say makes a perfect Mother's Day gift. And it is a thriving presence here on social media. So write this down, growingbolder.com. Because at growingbolder.com, you'll find everything we have to offer, and it's pretty impressive. See what can happen. See what can happen when you surround yourself with positivity and inspiration. Check out growingbolder.com. Now, coming up on this edition of Growing Bolder Now, we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look, a sneak peek at the brand new season of Growing Bolder TV. And folks, it begins hitting the airwaves tomorrow, Saturday, May 8th. And if you've not seen Growing Bolder on public TV, you should know this is our 7th season. Our previous seasons of shows aired on public television stations in over 95% of the country. That really is fantastic. We're very proud of that. And that also means there's a pretty good chance that no matter where you are, you'll have the chance to watch it as well. You know, one of the biggest challenges or changes for this season, we've greatly expanded the number of reporters and contributors who will be sharing things of interest with you. One of those people, we're really not supposed to tell you about for contractual reasons, but all I can say, especially for you WUCF watchers here, is she is a major Central Florida news personality who brings sunshine wherever she goes, and she is forecasting a bright tomorrow for Growing Bolder. Yeah, I think you know who I mean, huh? You may see her in the photos on a couple of the promos that we have coming up here in this program. And another person is from a major Florida newspaper. And yet another is a well-known news anchor who I will tell you more about shortly. But first, just so you have a quick idea of what's ahead this season, here's Marc Middleton.
Growing Bolder is back and bolder than ever right here on public television. We know these have been challenging, divisive, and scary times, but we're here to share the good news that hope, optimism, and even joy still exist. Growing Bolder shines the spotlight on ordinary people living extraordinary lives who are meeting the moment to improve the communities around them. Join us for new episodes of Growing Bolder and start planning your what's next.
It's going to be interesting, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be something that you'll find very different, that really kind of scratches an itch that we all have that's never been done before. Now, it was all the idea, the brainchild, the vision of Marc Middleton, whose voice you heard in the promo. And if he were here now, hey, he is now. Come on, let's go see if we can. Hey, Marc. Marc, hey, listen, say hi to everybody from Growing Bolder Now.
Good morning, everybody.
Growing Bolder Now, this is Marc, CEO, visionary. It was his idea. I remember the day you came to me and mentioned that you had this great idea, and here we are, Marc, ready for season 7.
And you thought, what in the heck are you thinking? I've been watching the show, Bill. I feared you may come in here, but there is a little bit of a delay, so it is kind of interesting, but it's good to be here.
Yeah, season 7 is starting tomorrow on many stations. We also have the privilege today to be on the Facebook page of WUCF TV live right now. They're excited to know what's coming up, what's different this season from other seasons.
A lot of really good questions. It just gets better every year. You know, we learn, we refine, but the message is pretty much always the same. And I think, Bill, you do as good a job as anybody of defining what we do. But, you know, essentially, we just want to inspire people to know that more is possible, that, you know, they don't have to buy into the ageist messaging that's all over our culture that leads us to believe that life after 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 is nothing but a slippery slope. The best is still ahead.
The big reason that we want to do programs like this, where we give you a behind the scenes look, this show isn't about us. It's not about what we're doing. It's about what's there for you. Somebody needs to inspire us all to realize that we've been brainwashed, that the messages that we've been given our entire lives about age are wrong. They're not necessarily the way it needs to be. Marc understood that better than anybody else, and he's one of the leaders in the field now who is screaming this from the rooftops, trying to let people know. I know that you've talked to elder affairs groups, you've talked to people that are experts and every time you do, Marc, they're so surprised, so inspired. I think we've known it in the back of our minds that life could be different, but we're just stuck in our ways.
Yes, it's a message that resonates immediately. And, you know, it's interesting you wander in here, Bill. I think you could come in here, at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and we could do a show, just you and I, because it changes hour to hour. And you mentioned the partners that we're working with. You know, this morning I'm really working on 3 different initiatives. One of them is an exciting new deal with Florida Blue Medicare. And if you folks are in Florida, you need to check them out because it's really not a company. It's a community of caring people, amazing, amazing people. I'm working on something with ALI, the Alliance for Lifetime Income, which is a relatively new partner of ours. It's a nonprofit that's dedicated to helping people understand the need for lifetime income because, you know, there's really only 3 kinds of lifetime income. There's pensions, and who has those anymore? There's Social Security, and who can live on that? And then there's annuities, which are widely misunderstood, many different kinds of annuities. So we're going to do some heavy lifting and help people understand how they can secure lifetime income. And the third thing I'm working on is something I'm really excited about. And we're going to have a major announcement coming up before too long about a relationship with the National Senior Games, which is really a national community of people that are interested in health and well-being. So it's really, really exciting. In fact, can I show you some of the whiteboard?
You're going to show us some of the secret whiteboard?
Sean, don't look over there. You can't show them that. That's proprietary information. But you know, people, you talk about it, Bill. You started the show with what is growing Boulder. And, you know, without talking about what our messaging is, what we are from a business perspective is a multi-platform, digital-first media company. You know, it's digital, digital, digital. That's how we're coming to you.
But Marc, isn't that a mistake, though? Because people over the age of 50, 60, 70, they don't want digital.
See, this is what Schaefer does, you know. He lobs you these contrarian softballs so that you can knock them out of the park.
I bet you that's what some people watching are thinking.
Well, you know, a 65-year-old today is entirely different than a 65-year-old was 5 years ago. They're changing each and every day. 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. We are a digitally savvy demographic, and people don't realize that. People over the age of 60 spend more money online, spend more time online, engage online more than just about any demographic. So yeah, digital is where everything is going. It doesn't mean we're not going to publish magazines. I mean, we do beautiful, beautiful magazines, and Bill, I know in a moment, but not yet, you're going to talk about this dude who was on the cover of our magazine, but it really is all digital. So we're a digital first media company. We are an entertainment and education network. We're building an over the top channel so that you can watch us 24/7. That'll be coming later this year.
Is that like a streaming thing? Kind of like a Netflix?
It's like a Netflix for cool people. Bill, you nailed it once again. Thank you for lobbing me that softball.
I told you I wasn't sleeping in those meetings.
Well, you and I know how long we've been doing this. We've got an incredible incredible library of content. And before too long, we're going to put it all up on this network that you guys can watch it anytime that you want. We are a unique lifestyle brand. We're a lifestyle brand that unabashedly targets people over the age of 50. But you know what we've learned, the secret sauce for Growing Bolder is that our message appeals to people that are 20 and 30 and 40 as much as it does to people that are 60 and 80, because it's a message that everyone wants to know. You've got 2, 3, 4 decades of active life beyond normal retirement age, if you're lucky, got to be lucky, and if you make the right kind of lifestyle choices.
And I guess the earlier you know, the more you can plan, and it doesn't happen by accident. You really can increase your own odds of having a great life from beginning to end if you live with intent.
Good point. And 2 points to that. It is never too late to make the right kind of changes. And the best way to have a successful older age is to start at an early age. You're right about that. And then Growing Bolder is a belief system. And we talk about that probably too much, but you have to believe it more as possible. Here's the stuff that I wanted to show you. Have you got time?
Folks, you okay? Yeah.
I don't want to steal your show. We try to create what we call content franchises. We group the kind of content that we produce under trademarks that we own. We own the trademark Rock Stars of Aging. Bill and I have probably done more interviews with active centenarians than any 2 people in the world because we want to learn from them what the secrets of their life are. We call them Rock Stars of Aging. Ordinary people living extraordinary lives. That's George Kamper. You're going to talk about him in a minute. The Fountain of Youth. We own the trademark Fountain of Youth. People don't believe that. The Health Wealth Connection. You can't improve your health without also improving your wealth. The two are inextricably combined. Surviving and Thriving. Bolder Backstage. Bill does interviews with rock stars from the 60s and 70s more than anybody. Move Forward, Give Back. That's our take on volunteering. I could go on and on and on, but these are all the franchises that we build, that we own, and we create content inside of them.
And the stories that we do in the television show all touch on this. And one of the big issues between season 6 and season 7 was the pandemic. I mean, it's changed. It not only while it was in full swing, but it really has changed us moving forward as well. And it has changed. And that's a great point that you bring out in this amazing story on the guy we saw on the cover of that magazine, George Kamper.
Yeah, you know, I want to be careful with this because the pandemic has been tragic. I mean, we all know people who have lost their jobs, lost their businesses, lost their lives. George Kamper didn't lose any of those, but he did lose his ability to do what he loves, which is a commercial photographer for an entire year. And what we liked about the story of George Kamper is that he found a way, even during the pandemic, to still express his creativity in a way that got him a lot of attention, and maybe most importantly, brought a smile to people's lives in a pandemic-related way, which is not easy to do.
All right, we promised you all a sneak peek of season 7. Let's take a look at just a little bit of Marc's story, which you'll be seeing starting tomorrow on George Kamper.
Oh my God, look at that. Flipping through the pages of George Kamper's portfolio is a look at the state-of-the-art of commercial photography. Wow. Oh, look at that. That's almost eerie. A look at how his work has elevated brands around the world. But when the pandemic hit, Kamper's shoots were canceled or postponed, and one of the world's greatest commercial photographers was stuck at home, looking for a way to express his creativity. Bubble Boy is here. And it didn't take long to find it. Bubble Boy, welcome to Growing Bolder.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, Marc.
How are you enduring the pandemic? I know you've been concerned.
Well, you know, we have our bubble, so all of our travels have been, in the bubble. It's been a lot of fun.
The fun began when George remembered that he just happened to have a 6-foot clear plastic bubble sitting in a closet.
I had purchased the bubble for a fashion shoot that I wanted to do in the future. I didn't have an actual specific thing in mind, but as you go through life, as a photographer, you say, well, that's kind of interesting. One day I'm going to use that.
Oh my God, that's great. That's just the beginning. There's so much more to that story. Did you get in that bubble?
I did get in that bubble. I didn't stay in that bubble very long, but it was fun. It was interesting, yes.
It would have been better than a mask. Everybody during the pandemic should have had their own bubble, and we would have been better.
I didn't hear the clip that you showed, so I don't know. I don't want to be repetitive, but it really is not just an interesting story of George and his creativity, but a relationship story between George and his wife, Cheryl, who, really found a way to work together. And it's helped their relationship. Not that it needed help, but, they came out of the pandemic stronger than ever.
One of the biggest changes for this season over previous seasons for Growing Bolder is that we have expanded the staff as far as presenters, as far as people bringing you stories, and that's been fantastic. One of the people that we've been able to bring came to us from a major newspaper in Florida. He was a sports writer, but he also wrote on many, many other issues. He followed his mother's descent through Alzheimer's in a very touching way. George Diaz. What do you think it is, Marc, that pulls journalists like George to leave what he's done forever to come to Growing Bolder?
I think the broader answer is what brings anybody to come to Growing Bolder. And I think that everybody these days is mission driven. Everybody is looking at opportunity to reinvent themselves, refine themselves, express themselves in a way that might be more meaningful than they're doing it. The young man who's holding is that an iPhone or an Android? Holding an iPhone right now, Sean, we found him on the roof of a commercial roofing company, and there he is. So this is a young guy who came here because, he also is mission driven. So, yeah, I don't mean to give you a terrible answer to your question. George Diaz came here because he believed in what we're doing. He believed in the Growing Bolder message.
From the Orlando Sentinel, and you might say, well, why did you guys want a sportscaster? Well, there's so many stories. Sports is such a great metaphor for life because it's about being the best you can be. It's about being in peak physical condition. And George immediately introduced us to a guy with an amazing story. His name was Darryl Perry, and he was a player for the Florida Gators, a great player. And he suffered an incredible setback, but it didn't stop him. It made this guy have stronger resolve, and where other people might have given up, Darryl Perry is digging deep and trying to push forward. Let's take a look at George's story.
And this one here was like a couple weeks before the episode.
The first thing you notice about Darryl Perry is his halting speech. His cadence is slower than yours or mine. The second thing you notice about Darryl Perry is his laughter. It is loud and joyful. It is the proud and defiant soundtrack of a man who came back from the dead.
I had always wanted to be a motivational speaker. So I guess God said, well, I'm going to give him something to talk about.
Darryl's inspirational journey begins tragically years ago, when in the middle of the night, he began choking, gasping, and struggling to breathe. He went into cardiac arrest and lost oxygen to the brain for 7 critical minutes. Darryl was lifeless. Paramedics wanted to stop their efforts to save him, but his wife begged them not to give up. Perry says that saved his life.
Very grateful for that.
What a fascinating story and really a remarkable person. I hope it makes you want to watch the rest of it, which of course you'll be able to do tomorrow on WUCF at 9:30 a.m. And we'll have some more stations to show you in just a moment. But isn't that something? Darryl Perry doing something that we all wonder in our own minds, and what that is that we wonder is, what do we do when we're faced with our challenges?
And it's a given, Bill, that we will face those challenges. And I think, fortunately, most of our challenges won't be as initially as tragic as Darryl's was, but or as ultimately as inspiring as Darryl's was. But we're all going to face these challenges, and it's part of the human condition. And we always say, it's how are we going to respond? It's going to knock you to your knees. It's going to knock you to the couch. It's going to knock you to the floor. It's going to knock you down in some fashion. And the question is, do you have what it takes to stand up and fight back? And it's almost impossible, if not impossible, to do it alone. You need family and friends and community. And that's a big part of what Growing Bolder is about, is a community of support for everybody, no matter who you are, what your age is, what your religion is, what your color is, what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't make any difference to us. We love you, we want to help you, and we want to build a community around you.
And Darryl said something interesting. He's really motivated to be a motivational speaker now. And you know why that is? The other element that all of us share is that we need meaning in our lives. We need purpose. We need a sense of belonging, of contributing, of doing something that makes a difference. And we found that as well in an incredible woman who dedicated her entire life to take care of abused and injured horses. Her name is Diane Delano, and here's a little bit from that story.
So I'm going to go in here with Sage.
It's a scene that happens over and over again every time a new horse arrives.
So I'm going to approach and I'm going to ask her to let me touch her. So
Diane Delano has to win their trust.
I'm standing sideways to her instead of straight on. And then I try to be as natural as possible.
She takes in horses that no one else will, like Sage, afraid, uncertain, and alone.
Does that feel good?
Still wild, still afraid of human interaction.
And that's a nice thing. She came actually closer to me.
Delano has a way about her, slowly but firmly helping Sage overcome the fear of helping her feel safe, secure, and protected.
See how she saw that come? So she's still not ready for two hands.
This is what she does for horses who've been abused and neglected.
Come right here.
And without realizing it, she does with people, too. The volunteers that help keep the Wild Horse Rescue Center going.
So he would graze.
They, too, come from all over, looking for a place where they're needed, searching for a sense of purpose, wanting to make a difference. It was so interesting to see how that story evolved to become about much more than we expected it to be. And oh, how about that with Marc Middleton? Wasn't that kind of cool to step behind the scenes and see what goes into the purpose of the program? You know, it's not just there to show interesting stories about interesting people. That's just the beginning. The true purpose is so it lights the spark within each of us to want to live a better life than we are, because it is possible and it is never too late. You know, the rest of that story on the horses is bittersweet, and it's heartwarming too, about people finding purpose and meaning in their own lives. And those are the kind of stories that motivate people and inspire us all, no matter what obstacles we face. And that brings me to another one of our contributors. Secily Wilson was a high-profile news anchor, and she suffered a stroke while broadcasting, and her life would never be the same. But now she's growing bolder, speaking from the heart, talking about what it takes to fight back, to prioritize, to embrace vulnerability, to handle depression, and to accept the support of others. Here's Secily.
My words were literally taken right out of my mouth. Experiencing a stroke on air. What? Yeah, just think about that for a moment. Your career is built on using the power of your words. And when you can't, suddenly your whole life passes in front of you. It's like trying to ride a bike without the wheels, or flying a bird without its wings. It can't happen. That just can't happen. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And I had to fight, because I knew that this is all I've ever done. This is all I've ever wanted to do. I went to college for this, and I was not going to let a stroke stop me at that point. So it was hard, and this wasn't easy. I don't say it was easy, because nothing in life is easy. But this was really hard for me, because I thought my whole life was going to be over, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Meanwhile, I was slowly going deeper and deeper into a depression, because I didn't want anyone to know. I didn't want anyone to know. I'm Secily Wilson. I'm on television. I can't let them know that my life is going to hell in a handbasket. I can't let them see that.
It really is unbelievable, powerful stories from such great people, stories that in some way will apply directly to you, that you will relate to. And I hope you're getting the idea that Growing Bolder is a very different, very special program. What it needs is to reach as many people as possible. And to do that, we need you. All public television stations across the country make their own unique broadcast schedules. So that means Growing Bolder could be on any day at any time. So here's what we can tell you. The new season of Growing Bolder TV begins tomorrow, Saturday, May 8th, and you need to check to see exactly when and what time it airs across the nation. But here are some Florida stations that are airing our premiere tomorrow. And as we said, you can watch Growing Bolder on Saturday, May 8th in the Orlando area on WUCF TV. We want to say hi to all the WUCF supporters out there watching us this morning on Facebook. Really happy to have you with us. What a great station that is. Also, in Fort Myers and Naples, WGCU, another fantastic public television station. In Gainesville on UFT TV. In Tampa on WEDU, Jacksonville on JAX PBS, and in South Florida on WXEL and WPBT. More towns across the nation and more in Florida have it scheduled in the coming weeks, so be sure to check your local station to see when Growing Bolder airs near you. Okay, since we're on social media, let's take a quick minute to check out some of the comments this morning on the program. And we love seeing this. We love when you leave comments, especially letting us know where you are, because the Growing Bolder message is valid all across the globe, and that does hold true on this program, because social media takes us everywhere. Patricia is here from Stafford, Texas, and we're happy to have her with us each and every week. Allie is here from Dallas. Do you read along the comments when you watch this? Rita is in Pennsylvania right now. We have Mary from Oakland, California. It really is a message that spreads. It relates to people regardless of race, age, religion, demographic, financial standing, anything, because really when it comes to it in life, we're all in this together. And as Marc said so well, the best way to live life is to help make it better for each other, to live it, to make a difference in the lives of others as we move forward. One more thing, if you can't wait or can't find the program in your area, here's something else. You can find shows from the previous season, great programs with powerful stories on our website, growingbolder.com. It's a really good place to go and start. Look around there. You can listen to podcasts. And if you become a Growing Bolder member, for which there is no charge, you can unlock digital issues of our magazine, extra interviews, stories, tools, and resources. So if you're the kind of person who wants to give and get the most out of life, head on over, check it out, and become a member of growingbolder.com. Well, we hope you enjoyed this special sneak preview of our new season of TV shows, and that no matter what opportunities, challenges, and adventures life throws at us, together we can make the most out of it and keep growing bolder. I'm Bill Schaefer. Thanks for watching.